Hello everybody, it's Robbie from Southern California. And today I want to talk about container gardening, but I want to talk about the containers. I have gotten questions over and over, and some of them are the same. And a lot of people have said, well, you can't plant in those containers that you get at the thrift store, you pick up at the stores like Walmart and Target, and they all have them. They said they break. They break. I've got them here, I've got them there, and I am going to line this block wall with containers. Gary was putting bricks there and putting fences around there. I said, no, I've got enough containers, and they match, that I'm going to line up a whole bunch here, and I know exactly what I want to plant here, because I want to plant something that really likes the warmth of that wall, and that will be peppers and some tomatoes and cucumbers. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today, the only thing I want to talk about is the containers and how long do they last. As you can see, there's two in there. You saw this one. And then I've got another one over here, which actually is stacked. Oh, there's another one over there. That's right, growing celery right now. And then I've got this one that I grew squash in last year, and I'm prepping. I'm actually working in my yard. That's a bathtub, not plastic. Oh, that one matches the other one. I might actually move that one because I like the idea of all those down there matching. But you've been asking me, how long do they last? You know what? I've been buying these containers, secondhand, mind you, which means they're not new, since 2015. I have never had to throw one away that's been in my garden that I got that was in good condition. Let's walk to the garden. Oh, as we come to the garden, you see, there's a broken container here. There is a broken container here. And I trimmed it off because it was hanging. Cheap old me, you want to know something? I found that in the trash and it was already broke. That container's been there for a couple years. I think I've got another year I'm going to use it and then I'm going to throw it out. But that's not what I was telling you. Let's go into the garden. What I was saying, because I want to show you some containers. And here's more containers. I have never had to throw one away because it broke in my garden. A container that I have gotten, here's another one, quite a few years old. A container that I have bought in tack. Doesn't have to be in good shape, just intact, no cracks, not split on the top, not somebody jumped on it and caved it in, but a container intact, I have never had one yet break. What I'm trying to say is if you get one that's starting to split, it's like a run in your nylons, if you know what that is, it will continue to split. The one you just saw did split. I had two others, I believe, that I found in the trash. They were split. I used them for a year or two, put some duct tape on, and I finally just let it go. I think I had Gary break them up and throw them in the trash. What I'm trying to say is, if you get them intact, they'll go for so many years. But there is a couple things you need to know. And there's my other one that's going up against the wall. That is a plastic type trash can back there. It's so overgrown, I don't even think I can get in there and show you. Oh, there it is. I'll show you from this side. This has been here since 2015. That is in good condition, and the plants are doing beautiful in it. And let's go over here. Here's another one. This was my first container, and I got this one. Let me see if I can move some of the plants. 2015. Is it bent? Yeah, it was bent when I put it here, but I've also let this purple sprouting broccoli get so big and out of control in it that it's pushing it a little bit too. But you know what? It's not split. It's not broke. It's still in perfect condition. It is over 4 years old. Over 4 years old, in my yard, in the sun. This is the sunniest part of the yard. It's in the sun, it's in the rain, it's in the cold, it's in the heat, and it is going strong. You know what this, and you know what, before I say the secret, because it's not really a secret, But if you took a container like that, sat it like that in your yard and just sat it there, in 1 year, it probably will start to crack and crumble and you would have to throw it away. But all my containers that are in my yard, I've not had to throw any away, including back here. I'll show you a video. This is 2 years old and I am getting this all cleaned up. I've been working in here, trimming down my mushroom plant because it doesn't like the winter cold. And these are beautiful. Same day since I put it 2 years ago, it looks just as good as new. Holes drilled on the bottom, nothing split. As long as it's not split, it will last in your yard. Now, why will it last in your yard? But if you just sat it in the yard with nothing in it, it would dry out and crack because that's what it does. It's like the skin on your hands, the skin on your face. If you just stood out in the sun all day and you didn't put any water on you and you just didn't put any hand lotion or anything and just stood out in the sun, the rain, the cold, the sleet, the snow, it would crack, it would weather. But when you've got a container with some sort of soil in it, and you are watering that soil, you are taking care of that soil, you are taking care of your plants, that is a plastic that will absorb and hold on to the moisture, and it keeps it beautiful. All of them. But that is the secret, if you want to call it a secret, is these containers cannot go dry. Okay, as long as you water your plants, and if your plants die and you don't have any plants to put in there, put some pots in there. I put a pot in there. I've got tomatoes growing. There's no plants planted in there, but the soil is still watered because soil is alive. Whether you've got plants in it or not, it needs to stay alive by water. So I have to give it water to keep it alive. They will break down, of course. I don't know how many years they're going to last. But the point is, as long as you keep your plants in their water, your soil in their damp, the plastic has got something in it. It will retain the moisture in the plastic to keep it flexible and to keep it going. The other thing is, get solid containers that you cannot see through. If you get a solid container and you can't see through it and it's more of a flexible type, see they kind of bend a little, that's what you want. You don't want a hard plastic that if you tap on it, it sounds like, hard, like you don't want a real hard plastic. You want something a little flexible and they will go for many years. So I'm going to state here that they should go for at least 5 years. Until something might happen to them. And they may go 10 years. I mean, of course, some of them are going to crack, especially, okay, my bad. I did let that plant push that over, and I see there's a slight crack starting. There might have been a crack there. It might be why I put it there. Because like I said, I don't get these new. But if you take care of it, and you keep your plants in there, and don't let them overgrow like I did, these containers should last you 10 years. And you don't have to do anything with them. Just keep your plants watered, take care of your plants, take care of your soil, and those containers will go for a long time. Don't use containers in your garden that are opaque. If they're clear, I have found that you'll probably only get a year, maybe, and that's a big maybe, 2 years out of them. Let me see, I think I've got one here underneath my bench. Okay, see that? That's opaque. That's clear. It's kind of a frosty, clear container. Those do break down. It's actually starting to break down. See? Just sitting here, it's starting to break down. Those will break down. It's got to be solid because otherwise the sun rays will go through it and break the container down. Those clear ones are good to use as a greenhouse if you wanted to sit it on top when you're starting your plants. But that's all you need to remember is put your plants in it, put some soil in it. It doesn't matter what you put in it as long as you keep it damp. You take care of your plants, you take care of your soil, and that will take care of the container itself. I love these containers. I put holes on the bottom. I put holes sometimes 1 inch from the bottom if I want it to retain water. I do it different ways, but I love these containers. They're cheap. You know, you don't have to go out and buy a raised bed for hundreds of dollars. You can go to the thrift store, and I picked these things up for $2, and you can go to Walmart and Target and all your different stores, and they're less than $10 even there. They're really cheap in the regular stores. I've even seen grocery stores sell them. So you can have yourself beautiful raised beds with these containers. You can line them up, and it's just perfect, and they will go for many years. Even a raised bed made out of wood, they break down. Wood breaks down. So this is my way of doing it. I love my containers. Like I said, that has been going strong since 2015. And now it needs to be cleaned up. I've been composting in place there. I don't know what I'm going to do with my purple sprouting broccoli. It got so big, but see what I did? I kind of wedged myself out, and this is what I'm doing in my garden. I'm tearing the whole place apart. I've been working and working, and I need to make it where I can service my containers. Don't block yourself out like I did. That's not a good thing. So be able to service your containers, and you can grow all kinds of stuff in it. I've got lemon verbena growing over here. I've got mushroom plants growing. I've got kale growing. I've got another kale growing here. I've got broccoli growing. I have grown corn before a while back. You can grow beans and tomatoes and peppers and eggplant. I've got eggplant growing in containers. Mint, mint is beautiful in containers. You could grow anything, walking onions, garlic chives, anything you want, celery. Container gardening is wonderful, and you have full control over the container. You can plant your plants in it, as I do, and you can compost them place in the same container on the other side of your plant, or you can plant them in pots. I've got some beans coming up back there. I've got mint in there. And you can just compost in the container and plant in pots. The roots will go out of the bottom of the pots. The pots have to have holes on the bottom. They'll feed on the breaking down compost. Your earthworms will come in. Your microbes will come in. When it's outside in the garden like this, and I'm doing container gardening now on my deck. We'll see that another time. But today, the question was, how long will the containers last? And somebody said, oh, they'll only last a year. No. Keep soil in there. It doesn't matter what kind of soil. Keep it watered. Even if there's no plants, make sure it stays damp as if there's a plant in it. And those containers will go for many, many years. The only other thing, most of the containers are number 2, number 4, and number 5. Those are safe. If you ever find a container with number 3, that means it's made out of recycled. Many times it means it's made out of a recycled material, which could be tires or oil base. You don't know. It's not used for food product. Your food products in the grocery store, if you look on the bottom of your dairy products and different products, yogurts like that, you'll see the containers are either a 2, a 4, or a 5. Those are safe for food. So just make sure your containers have that triangle underneath that either say, 1 is okay, but usually 1 is the clear one. So 2, 4, and 5. Stay away from number 3. And that's all there is to it. And you should be able to container garden anywhere you want in your yard for many, many years on a cheap container. And with that, have a great day. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye, everybody.